Hello, I'm Audio. This is Daibanchou. I said in the last part, at the very end of it, that I would discuss Big Bang Beat a little bit here. I will. I mean, I don't like fighting games. I pretty much hate fighting games more than anything else on Earth. I really, really, really hate fighting games. But Big Bang Beat is, you know, a fighting game based on Big Bang Age, and it was pretty old. The first one, and I say that because I'll elaborate in a second. The first one was pretty old, and it had characters like Roga, like Kunagi, like Senna. Kyudo and Kendo were a single fighter that you could use both at the same time, like the Ice Climber twins in Super Smash. Were they twins? I don't know, but the Ice Climbers, whatever. It was the same deal. Oh yeah. Oh god, I'm such a jackass sometimes, you know. I also have to, you know, it's not just suppressing the tree. I've got to have people stationed here to do shit with the tree that I neglect. But I'll go after the magnet now. But it's a fighting game that people like, and Heita, if you have a chance, look up they have, you know, strong abilities. Like in fighting games, they have, you know, the powerful skill that they charge up the entire fight. Well, Heita's is fucking awesome. I mean, I'll go over, I guess, what it is once I get closer to his character clear, and it's more relevant, but damn, they really... Like, when I see a finishing move like Heita's in Big Bang Beat, and I look at the actual original game, I can tell that the people who made the fighting game really, really cared about the original game. It's one of those kind of things. So, more about that later, but a more recent version of it came out, I believe. And it came out of, oh god, Comic Cat 80 or something? I think that's what it is. And it's fairly new. It came out this year. And it has NetPlay support, so that's interesting, right? Oh yes, Roga and Go both need to be at the World Tree. I think that's it. I think they're the only people who need to actually go there to trigger the event, you know, spawning the elves, basically. Wow, that was a hard fight. Hopefully I'm remembering this well enough, and I'm not losing my chance at Sparn and the elves. I've neglected to look at the wiki again. I tend to do that. I don't know why. It's just the way of things. And this wouldn't happen, like, I don't have to be fighting the Nightmare Eyes or being close to the Nightmare Eyes to see this scene. It could just happen whenever. But I'm seeing it now. Just, I guess through fortune? I don't know. Good luck. Good timing. There we go. Kayan has good timing. Himinomiya. There we go. That's how you say her last name. Or her family name. I was reluctant to say it from memory because I didn't know if I had it right. But the person she's talking to is a vampire. They're the generic unit. You can't interrogate them. Doesn't work. And this is the Nightmare Eyes leader. You know, I gotta admit she's kind of intimidating looking. I never really thought about that before, but that hand is scary. I actually don't recall if she's short or whatever when you fight her, but you can recruit her in Kunagi's route. I will, because it's not hard to do, but, you know. I'll talk more about her in a bit. She's a very unique character, and to be honest, you'll need to know more about the Nightmare Eyes before I can even begin to explain what she is. But yeah, there are quite a few commanders you can pull out of the Nightmare Eyes. There was what? I mean, there was only one, well, two, I guess if you include Cleo, and then Yuma as well if you want to count her, but I won't because she's different. I won't count Yuma. Cleo and Tomoka are the only two that you can get out of the PGG that have character checks. there are a lot more you can get out of the Nightmare Eyes that have character checks. I mean, I'm trying to think briefly, but there are at least 5, which is pretty good. And I'm gonna go for most of them. Not the girl with the boomerang. I'll probably leave her out, though. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll see eventually. She's a boring character to me. But yeah, I mean, they're vampires. It's a group of vampires. The leaders in the Nightmare Eyes are vampires. That's my turn. Yeah, we're gonna keep going. I mean, as much as I dislike 20-minute videos, I equally dislike 6-minute videos. So that's how that is. And the thing with the elves, that's a random event. It happens on its own. You can't trigger it. So now you know that. Restore order here. Way to go, Kido. You're not seeing like any use at all, but thank you. I guess I don't really have anything to do. Let's go talk to Van Dane. You guys can see what's up with him if you didn't know already. Yeah. And I guess after this video, I'll look up. You know, I've said that for like how many videos now? I'll look up what I need to recruit Van Dane and what I need to do to recruit Sparn, because I haven't remembered yet, you know? I mean, I played Sengoku Rants enough times to remember every facet of every character, pretty much. Daibanchou is not the same. And I can actually attribute that to its age. I think Daibanchou is a good game, and it's fun and everything, and I like playing it, but it's older, so it gets less attention from me. Yep. And there's Van Dane. I mean, he could be based on any number of mecha, you know? I don't think it's any in particular, but, you know, there are so many giant robot shit in Japan, it's, you know, take your pick. So, and as far as that goes, like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of mecha. I watched Code Geass, that was it. And I liked that, I mean, that was cool, but I didn't like it because of the mecha, you know. I don't think a lot of people do. I watched Eva, that was okay. But, you know, whatever. I don't feel like talking about mecha. I just don't care about it, really. And that's mostly why I didn't go for Van Dane, because whatever. And I think he's a long-range unit as well. So, to clarify that, you know, yeah. But you also can't, like, recruit him early on in the game because of the requirement. You can't get Van Dane early on. There are a lot of commanders like that. I keep calling them commanders. Apologies if that bothers you. But, I mean, there are a lot of units in this game, like, that you can't get until way late in the game. But you can meet them earlier on. You know what I mean? Oh my god, we're talking to Cleo. You can believe we're talking to Cleo. The cutest character ever. But Roga, Cleo and Yuna, or I think it's Yuna, Kyoko's daughter, they both look up to Roga as like their dad, you know what I mean? And I mean, Roga can't be that old, but I mean, I know that there is a dialogue that Roga has with Kunagi. Kunagi's like, what if this act bore us a child? You know, obviously they're talking about sex. And Roga just says, I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't ready to have a child. So, that's pretty interesting to me. And I think it's cool that they would acknowledge it, you know? Like Alicesoft, when they made this game, they acknowledged that Roga's not like Rance, you know? Rance is immune to having kids. The guy in Daitekoku is immune to having kids. Roga is not, so we'll acknowledge it, but he's still gonna be really lucky and never have kids, you know? That, well, yeah. So. It's whatever. But Cleo, you know, I love her, but she's not really gonna get used very much. She's really not that good of a unit. To be honest with you. It's whatever. She's unique. I can give her that much. She's a unique unit. And if you level her up enough, she'll get a lot of stamina. So if Cleo has a lot of stamina, she can use the Genie skill more frequently. And that can actually do pretty well. Yeah, so. Now you know about that. Alright, Heita. You're going to fucking Totori. Enjoy yourself. Everybody else... I just need to make sure that they're all recovering and healing. And just because I don't know... People are probably laughing at me who do know. Like, the full moon bar, I don't know which way is full or not. Like, I don't know if it needs to be all red or if it needs to be all blue. And I don't even think you need to station Tamariroga and Kunagi in the forest land to trigger the event. They just need to be in your group. But I'm doing it anyway, alright? So if you know something that I don't know and you're laughing at me, that's cool. I don't care. But please know that I don't care. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about or what I'm doing at all anyway, then that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. But, yeah. I mean, they caution you here, too. Once you take that territory, they're like, oh, well, now we're next to the Nightmare Eyes. We should be careful about them. I wonder if they're going to be aggressive. Of course. Of course they are. That is a goal of this game. It is a goal of this game to conquer Japan. So, yes, the Nightmare Eyes are going to be aggressive. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and, one of the territories in the Nightmare Eyes, I'll point it out exactly, is the one you don't want to station Ren in, or he gets killed. So, you know, just another warning. And there'll be another much more direct warning later on. Oh, gosh. Maybe I picked a... this will be okay. This might just go on for too long, and I was worried about that, but it should be alright. The Nightmare Eyes are introducing themselves. Go still has to introduce them to you in the next part. So, yeah, and I like their music too, you know? But, yeah. I do like, Camilla's character design, I guess. Her first name wouldn't be Bathory, right? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I'm assuming it's Camilla. But I'll call her Camilla. I like her character design. Now and later on, it changes. In Kunagi's route, it changes. Quite a lot. But I'm... like, I want to delve more into what she is and whatever, but it's just not possible. It's weird. Like, I don't know how to explain them. And I don't know what Japan thinks about them, you know? Like, vampires in general. Does Japan see vampires the way the rest of the world does? You know, I mean... Japan... maybe it's just Alisoft, though. I mean, Alisoft is kind of weird about stuff. But, I mean, I can list all the things that Alisoft has taken a very strange route with. But, I mean, Japan historically doesn't like a lot of religions, and vampires are kind of conjured from a Christian religion area. You know what I mean? Like, they're a fictional thing, but all of the things that are effective against them come from a religion. You know? So... oh well. Maybe it doesn't matter in Japan. But... god damn it, Alisoft. They've... like, look at how they treated Xavier in Sengoku Rants. He was a pretty decent guy in real life. As far as, you know, history tells me. Yeah. Then, Look at what they did with Hitler in Daitekoku, which is fine, you know. That I'll talk about when I play that game. And that's going to be fun as hell. I'm going to love talking about that more than anything. But I ordered... Well, I'm trying to order a thing, and... like, it comes with a shirt that says Adolf on it, and it has a picture of Reita Adolf from Daitekoku, and it says in German, "We love you, Adolf." And then in the background, it has a big German flag. And, you know, Reita is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. So it's like, what the hell? Why would they try and market something like that? You know? Is it just to be ironic? Is it just Alisoft taking irony to a new level? Maybe they don't understand how the rest of the world feels about the guy. But again, I'll save it all for a couple months down the road. That's going to be hard to do, though. This Ulrika lady is, again, I'm not planning on recruiting her. That big bulky dude that we just saw is not recruitable. I don't like Ulrika at all. Not at all. I don't like her at Ulrika. Please, I'm so bad. Oh well. Kibito. I like him a lot. I know that's gonna sound stupid, but there's a lot to talk about with him, and yeah, he's very closely tied to Shion, the heroine I'll be obtaining sometime soon. Yeah. And I could go over their skills, but I'll wait. And as far as Kibito goes, I'd like to obtain him, but I might have to wait around for too long, and it's not worth it. But he's a crazed guy, and he's got low health, so he's not the easiest to capture. But yeah, he's got like some dementia, or his mental stability is breaking down, and you know, that's what he is. And Camilla and the other people in Nightmare Eyes know about it. It's just weird. But yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of more people from the Nightmare Eyes that are interesting, and there aren't really that many. I mean, Shion's cool, Camilla's kind of cool, Ulrika's not. Also, I guess I should say this too. Ulrika, the purple-haired girl you saw briefly, you can't get her character clear unless you recruit Camilla. You can't recruit Camilla unless you're in Kunagi's route. So, you know, it's... you can surmise what I'm implying there, right? I'm sure that you can. This girl. I don't like this girl either. I don't like her either. No, I guess the translator did... maybe it wasn't even the translator. Maybe they did it in Japan too when they made it, because the vampires are obviously not Japanese, you know. They're... the Nightmare Eyes territory is based heavily on Europe. So, when you're looking at these two, you'll note their family names, but they're not actually related. So, you know that, I guess. I guess I can elaborate on that. But yeah, their names aren't flip-flopped like the Japanese names are. And I don't know if that was the translator or if that was the original copy of the game that did that. I don't really care either way. I try to call the Japanese people by their first name, but if it's like 40 letters long and their last name's 3, I'm still going to go with their last name, and that's going to piss someone off. Probably the future me is who it will piss off the most. So yeah. But the vampires are... I don't even think you see those as a unit until further into the Nightmare Eyes territory. They've got those vampires, they've got mid-range fighters who are more Viking-y. That's another thing that this place is kind of based on. I mean, you could tell because the other girl's name was Ulrika. You know, I mean, they're not based on Vikings, but again, heavy Northern European stuff. Which ties in with vampires rather well. I won't deny that. But whatever. It's just that the Nightmare Eyes is kind of depressing. Like, obviously they're a little depressing. I like fighting them, and I like fighting their last territory especially, but, I mean, the first couple territories that the Nightmare Eyes have are very large. They're very large territories, and they're pretty boring. You basically grind yourself on those larger territories for a while because you're recruiting Xion. Xion takes 3 turns, and she's got one of the saddest stories in the game. That I think, you know, like, if you read all the stuff in the game, I'll save it for Xion, you know. I'm getting ahead of myself again. But Camilla was talking there briefly about having human livestock, which is scary, I guess. But, you know, I mean, vampires need blood to live, and I guess they just use human blood. But, I mean, other fiction with vampires having a large colony or whatever, always, you know, they always have a human farm. So it's not like it's a new idea or anything. But it's a shitty idea, like, that happening to people sucks. And no, I'm not a hypocrite. I feel the same way for animals, so how are you? What are you gonna do to me? You gonna argue me? You gonna argue me? Yeah. Okay. I don't know, that's another argument I don't feel like pursuing right now. But one of the reasons that, I mean, it's evidenced by this scene here. How long has this scene been going on? Quite a while. Why are more of the characters in this game interesting? And, you know, why do I want to destroy people like Camilla? Because of scenes like this, you know. The creators of Daibanchou had these scenes, and they let them go for a while. They, you know, I don't want to say it's better than Sengoku Rants about this, but it almost is. Daibanchou was a very good mix between gameplay and storytelling. You know? I mean, they nailed it here. Sengoku Rants, they nailed it on too. It was like, it was really good. They did it very well on both of these games. I mean, I've already told you that I mostly play these games for the story, and the gameplay is awesome too. I replay them for the gameplay, but the first playthrough is always the best because of how good the story is, you know? But, yeah. I mean, Bathory, or Miller, she's not a... As far as I know, she's not something you can use as a unit. Yeah, she's not a unit. I'm fairly certain she's not a unit. And I mentioned that Shomon is not, though you fight him frequently. I mean, again, I'll save that until I'm actually fighting him, so yeah. But he's immortal as long as he has blood, I think. That's what they're going with. And, all this stuff still plays out in Senna's route. I mean, none of this is any different. It's just the ending of the Nightmare Eyes is very, very different in Senna's route and Kunagi's route. That's important. And, actually, I can discuss that now, too, because I won't be recruiting Ulrika. If you leave Ulrika around long enough in, like, the Nightmare Eyes, she's a human, but if you leave her around, she gets bad-ended, and she becomes a vampire. And, I like that idea. For some reason that idea is arousing, I don't know why. It's that corruption theme, you know, like that it's impossible to find good material for. Because how do you illustrate it appropriately? Well, you can't. It's usually psychological. You know? It's like hypnotism and stuff like that. Those are all cool fetishes, but you need to not... they're hard to illustrate, so people usually don't. That took a while, didn't it? Oh, we're not done here. We've got to talk about Akito. I might be able to start recruiting him after this. God, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff to do. I spoke to Van Dane, so that's done. I've gotta do stuff with the elves. I've gotta start talking to Xian, which will take a while. And then if Akito's event shows up, I've gotta take advantage of that fairly quickly. Because if you don't, it disappears. I'll say that now. If you see Akito's event and you do nothing with it, it'll disappear. And no, he has one more after this. So I don't have to worry about him just yet. But yeah. I'm fairly certain that I mentioned way earlier ago that I'll be recruiting Akito. So, I guess I'll see you in the next part.